to church anywhere. And we just see them every once in a while, and I try to get them to come and try to get a ride on a van with us. But just a lot of kids get saved, but then they go back home, and their home is the same as it was when they left. So they it doesn't, nothing changes for them unless the church can reach them. So pray for the kids get saved this week on Friday night, and pray for that have a lasting effect. Not seed planted by the wayside, dropped by the wayside, or seed planted among thorns, or planted among stones that doesn't have much earth to grow, but seed gets planted in fertile soil in their hearts that grows. Okay, pray for that. Anybody else have a prayer request? Okay, all right. And Tammy and I will be traveling this week, and Jared and Rebecca will be traveling next week with us. So pray for our safety, if you would, please. All right, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Charlie, you want to lead us? Amen. Yeah, that's a great sound. You hear that while you're praying. Also, notice it got kind of, well, it's quiet. I was quiet. I could hear the noise upstairs. I like the noise. Oh, hearing all the kids up there. Okay. So Charlie Travis is going to preach for us Sunday. I'm excited. I wish I was here. I told him that today. I wish I was going to be here to hear him preach, but Tammy and I will watch it on the computer. Huh? Yeah, we will. We will watch it live stream, but not from here. Yeah, we won't be. I want to be here. So, yeah, it's good, but it's not the same as when you're in the service. All right, just hang on. Okay. Open your Bibles to Ecclesiastes chapter 4. We're going to kind of review a little bit of what we were at in our story, but then we're going to go into more Ecclesiastes, more of Solomon's writing. Part of this, the beginning of this is the same as it is last couple of weeks. Solomon is the wisest king, the wisest man ever lived. He asked God said, "Ask for anything, I'll give you wisdom. I'll give you what you ask for." And he asked for wisdom. God gave him wisdom. So Solomon had all this wisdom. Ecclesiastes after Solomon, you got Proverbs, Psalms, and Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes. I'll wait till you find it. I want you to find it. Yeah, I want you to find it. Yeah, where you at now? The next one back. You're almost there. Keep going the direction you're going. Yeah. There it is, Ecclesiastes chapter 4. You're almost there. Okie dokie. Okay, look up this way. Solomon asked for wisdom. God gave him wisdom. And while as a young man, we went through this timeline thing a couple weeks ago with him. As a young man, God gave him all this wisdom, answers to everything, and all the world came to hear his wisdom. Because they'd ask him questions that nobody knew the answer to, and he knew the answer to it. He was that way. God made him that way. God gave him that wisdom. But then he got away from God for however many years, he doesn't say. He got away from God. He married all these women. He built temples for their gods and different things. But then he got back to God and returned to God in his relationship with God as an older man. He wrote the book of Ecclesiastes. We looked at a couple of different things last week in Ecclesiastes. First couple of chapters, we've read a lot, I guess, first two chapters. But chapter 4, we're going to look at some other things where he observed things. Because this is, he's a 65, 70-year-old man that is writing down to his son. As a young man, he wrote to his kids growing up and said, "I want you to learn this. This is what my father taught me. This is what God taught me. This is what we're supposed to do." And then as an older man, he's writing back and said, "I want you to learn the things that I've learned that I didn't know as a young man." Okay? There's things I learned. Okay. Day I got saved when I was 17, started preaching. How was it? 21 years old, started preaching. And when you're 21 years old, you know everything. Right? Or you're 19, 18 years old, you know everything. Right, Marlon? When you were 18 years old, joined the army, whatever, did you know everything? Right? You think that. But then as you get older, you look back and say, I did this wrong, and did this wrong, and did this wrong, or I saw this, I observed this stuff about either my life or someone else's life. And a lot of what Solomon is going to write about in Ecclesiastes, some of it is personal testimonies about his life and how he felt and how he saw things. But part of it is looking at it and seeing, I observed this of other people. And this is and the key word in Ecclesiastes is vanity, emptiness. There's nothing to this life if you follow this path, and you can look and see what happens. Okay, in chapter 4, he lists about 4 different groups of people that are written down here. We'll read chapter 4, verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that were done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Stop reading it there. Solomon was right. And he said, I saw this. Okay. Up until the founding of the United States, almost every nation of the world was ruled by tyrants and dictators. Men who got in charge because they were stronger than anybody else or smart enough in battle ahead of everybody else. And they accumulated wealth, and they ruled over everyone around them. Okay? The Nebuchadnezzar or Alexander the Great, different all these people, they ruled because they were great in battle, or they did this one thing, or whatever it was, or they could intimidate people into getting their way. Okay? Okay. Dictators. Pharaohs were dictators. I give this illustration several times. When you came to the Red Sea, Moses was a leader, and he led his people across the Red Sea on dry ground. Pharaoh drove his people into the Red Sea, and they all died. Okay? It's the difference between leading and being a dictator. Solomon looked, I don't think he was ever a dictator, but he looked at it, he said, there are people that are really oppressed. And all around him, all the other nations, Israel was not set up in this way, like a dictatorship. It's supposed to be a nation that has God as their king, but they didn't follow God very well. But he saw all the nations around him. There's people that are they live this way. They're oppressed, okay? And it bothered him. And they have no comforter. They're constantly continually downtrodden. And there's some people that live this way. And I've known these people. As a kid growing up, I didn't think, you can read about history or whatever and see about different types of lives, but I didn't think about people that really lived this way, that like under someone else's thumb all the time. Okay, my parents went out that way. Looking back at it as an adult, I knew some other families. This family that we knew, without naming names, their dad was basically a tyrant, an alcoholic. Okay, and he led that way. He didn't lead his family. He ruled his kingdom, which was his home. Okay, and his boys didn't respect him. They feared him. Okay, why? Because he might get drunk and beat on him for a while. Okay, and I think, looking back at it, he was a tyrant or a dictator. Okay, but Solomon looked at it, and it bothered him. He would see these people that had no way to get them out of the situation they were in, and it bothered him. It ate at him. He said, something doesn't seem right in this. Some are always under the hand of the oppressor. In governments, socialism is an oppressor. Okay, communism is an oppressor, and the people that rise to the top. You may read the book Animal Farm. Tam, did you read that? We're supposed to read that with kids. Did you read that in school? You don't remember you reading Animal Farm? Charlie, did you read Animal Farm? Marlon, Kathy, y'all remember? It was about communism, and it's probably, I don't know when it was written, but I remember reading this in grade school. That's like one of the only books I remember reading. Must have been really bored or something for me to read a book, because I didn't do that very often. But it was about a farm where all the animals agreed that they would take over and get rid of the farmer and run the farm by themselves. Okay? But then once they got time to run the farm, the pigs took over and run the farm and were the oppressors to everybody else, because the pigs were the ones who were telling them, don't let that farmer tell you what to do. Don't let the farmer tell you what to do. So they killed the farmer, or got rid of the farmer some way. I can't remember that part of the story. But then they end up, the ones who got rid of the farmer, the ones who ran it. And that's the way communism is. Okay? That's the way most governments are. That's the way a lot of households are run. Okay, tyrants and dictators. people, yeah, I listen to the radio all the time when I'm driving down the road, and there's something on ESPN about 2 weeks ago, and I can't remember what NFL player it was. He was talking about the NFL as if he was a slave and still in slavery, making $30-some million on his contract. Okay, that's not slavery. Okay, he's making. I'd do that job. Okay, I couldn't do that job, but I would for $30-some million. He was going to kill me the first day. Okay, but he feels I'm impressed. He's not impressed. Lives in a mansion, drives a Maserati, um, has all the money in the world, right? All the money he'd ever need. Okay, but he feels oppressed because a contract they signed. Okay, most people that feel oppressed are in a situation because they got themselves there. Okay, like this guy. Well, I can't call it slavery myself. This guy feels oppressed by his quote. The team owner is the slave owner, and he's the slave. Charlie, does that make sense to you? Does that resemble the slavery of United States history for 200 years ago? Yeah, it does not, does it? Okay, and it gets his $1 million Nike endorsements and everything else. They go, yeah, all right, okay. Okay. Most people that feel oppressed by other people are there because of their own choices. Okay, I know people that always feel like someone's out to get them, or someone's over them, or someone's bothered them, or this is someone else's fault, whatever they go through in life. No matter what, and everyone else is. Most often, when we feel that way, what's that? Eleanor Roosevelt said, "You can't be." What's the saying, Rebecca? No one can make you feel something unless you allow them to. Inferior unless you allow them to. Okay, I misquoted that. But a lot of people feel inferior or oppressed by somebody else. Shouldn't. Okay, don't have to. Okay. Difference is, from all the rest of the world and us, we have a comforter, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, living inside of us. Okay, and I'm going to get back to him, just back to Christ, because it all points back to him in just a minute. Look to verse 2. We'll read a couple more verses, because these are things that Solomon looked at and bothered him. Okay, verse 2. Wherefore I praise the dead, which are already dead, more than the living, which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they, which hath not yet been, who hath not seen evil work that is done under the sun. Why does he say that? Okay, does that make sense to you? Solomon says it's better to be. It's better sometimes to look at somebody that they've died and their battle's over than someone who's still facing the battle every day. Or the best of life looks like sometimes is before life, or when you're just a child. Just not worry about anything. Danny doesn't worry about anything. Okay, but a baby doesn't care about anything, right? And Solomon says, man, people just get so much piled up on them, and until they get to the point of death, and it almost, for some people it's almost better once they're gone. They can look back, the battle's over. Okay. And a lot of people live their whole life facing a battle or fighting a battle and never seem to win it. And they're always behind. When there's a picture on my phone, we got it printed out at the house, of Josiah on the day he was born. He's wrapped up, he's got the little hat on thing, and he's gonna have a smile on his face, which usually nowadays he does. You know the picture I'm talking about back there? And he's like, it's cold out here. What am I doing out here? But on the day he's born, he's got a real serious look on his face. And as soon as I saw that picture, the first time I thought, what is he thinking? Okay, was it? He wasn't worried about anything. Still not. Okay, but he wasn't worried about it. And a lot of times we get oppressed by something, and it eats at us till we die. It shouldn't, but it does. Okay. Here's the next thing. These are things that Solomon in chapter 4 bothered him. Chapter 4, verse 4. Again, I consider it all travail in every right work. The key word is right work. That for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Okay. You know what happens if you do well? People hate you. I mean, if you drank before you got saved and you quit drinking, then the people that you used to drink with a lot of times will hate you because you quit drinking. He's not our friend anymore. Well, I just don't drink anymore. Okay, I know people that are become successful in business, and other people that aren't successful in business. They hate the person that's successful in business. Um, in a sales job, okay, our companies, we sell stuff. There's a there are people. There has been. I won't say there's anybody like this now. There has been people. If you do well, the people that aren't doing well are going to hate you for doing well. Okay, what's that? Right. You stick your head up above the crowd, you're going to get some shoot at it. Right? Someone's going to take a shot. That's right. How many people loved when Tiger Woods fell? Huh? A lot of people loved Tiger Woods until he fell. A lot of people loved it after he fell. They said, "Ah ha ha." Okay. We had one of our piano players at First Baptist Church. When we were at First Baptist Church, started playing a song one time. It was a wrong song. The song leader said, "Open to page 304," and they opened to page 403 or whatever it was, and they started playing that song, and they corrected. Uh, the song leader corrected them and said, "That's on page 304 or whatever." They got it right. And Brother Howes just laughed as our pastor. He just laughed and he said, "We love to see perfection stumble, don't we? Because the person at the piano was always did everything exactly right. And when they stumbled, everyone was almost cheered, right? Because they made a mistake, and they've never. 40 years I've been here, and they never made a mistake. Okay, and it's like they almost cheered because they they weren't perfect after all. Okay, chapter. Okay, there's a couple that I know that has done really well for themselves. That they bought a small house that needed work. They fixed up that house. Then they sold that house and doubled their money. Then they bought a bigger house that needed work. They fixed up that house, made it look nice. They doubled their money and moved into a bigger house. When they were moving into, I think it was their fourth house, which was a very, very nice house, big brick house. When they moved into their brick house, someone said, "Someone must have given them money." I said, "No, he told me what they did. I know I know the story of what they did. They did. No one gave them money. No one died and left them inheritance. They worked for what they worked regular jobs, not making a lot of money. Neither one of them made a lot of money, but they worked regular jobs. But they had this plan of fix this, and sell it, fix this, and sell it, fix this, and sell it, and it worked for them. Don't work for everybody. A lot of people buy this one and live in it and trash it worse than it was, or they try to fix it up and they lose money. And they're talking to another guy did the same thing. Bought a house, going to fix it up. It's going to flip this house. Going to double my money. And he lost like $175,000 because no one would buy his house, and it got that big mess. Didn't pay his bills. Our company, he didn't pay his bills. Okay, but the person who said someone must have gave him something. I said, no one gave him anything. I know what they did. They told me what they did. Okay, a friend of mine bought a cinder block house. Melvin Weekly bought a cinder block house. There was, I think it was just only had like 2 rooms to start with, and it wasn't as wide as his platform. It was as deep, probably about as deep as his platform. And he worked on it. He worked for a home builder, but he knew how to do everything. From the wiring to the plumbing to laying block and everything. So he doubled the size of the house. They put cedar siding on it, and he bought the thing. I want to say for like $13,000 because it's just a cinder block house with old windows or whatever. And by the time, Rebecca, you remember going there when you were a kid? You were born there. I don't know if you remember much about it. You remember seeing the ceiling? You were in a basket last time you saw it. Okay. By the time he had it appraised, they said the bank came out because they wanted to borrow money for a business. And the bank came out and looked at it, and they gave him an appraisal of $68,000 or something like that. It had just been a few years since he bought the property. And he said, really? So when he ended up eventually moved from that place, sold it for a whole lot more than what he had in it, and bought a much nice house with a yard, whatever. Okay. A lot of people think, well, who gave him money? No one gave him money. He worked for it and did and planned well. Okay. There's a guy I went to high school with that worked with us at Big Star. His name was Jerry. Jerry saved his money, lived with his parents for just a couple of years. I mean, he's 16 years old. Started working at Big Star. We didn't make a whole lot of money at Big Star, but he saved all of his money. Drove an old beat up I guess it wasn't that old at the time. It's like old Gremlin, which is, in the movies, it's the Lemon movie, right? In the Cars movie, it's the Lemon. Okay, he drove an old Gremlin that was beat up, but it ran, and put every dollar in the bank, and just barely had enough to eat and to put gas in his car until he saved up enough money and bought a house, paid cash. By the time we were like 21 years old, he put all his money aside and paid cash for this. And other people say, "Where did he get his money?" I worked with him. He said I know where he got his money working in the freezer at Big Star. Walking in and people walk by, lock the door on him while he's in the freezer. Come get him 2 days later. Okay, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny when I did it to him, but I didn't leave him for 2 days. But other people said, "Where did he get his money?" He worked for it. Okay, and other friends of ours who were 20, 21 years old didn't have anything. And they said, "He's got a house of his own." Okay, another Jerry, same last name, is a governor of a different state, has spent his life punishing people that work hard by raising taxes on them, except exempting his friends to get so they don't have to pay taxes. Okay, every right work. For this, a man is envied of his neighbor. If you do good, people hate you for it. But go ahead and do good anyway. Okay? Chapter 4, verse 5. We'll look at the next verse. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. What's that mean? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 10. This is what Solomon wrote when he was young. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. The fool foldeth his hands together. Verse 5. Foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. He envies the achiever. Can't figure out how that guy made it. He just sits there with laziness thinking, I don't know how he did it. It bothers me. Okay? But the fool can't figure out how to do it. Okay? Because anyone gives him wisdom, he won't listen to it. Anyone tries to help him, he says, you don't know that. You don't understand what the problem is. And the fool will fold his hands in laziness and say, it can't be done. It can't be done. It can't be done. Okay? I like when someone says it can't be done and you go out and do it. Okay? If someone says something, it can't be. Now, certain things shouldn't be done, right? Like you shouldn't put salsa on donuts and stuff like that, right, Becca? Certain things shouldn't be done. But then there's some things where people say it can't be done. I'd rather look at the person and say, okay, figure out a way, make it happen. Okay? A lot of times in life, there's a job to be given, and someone says, I just want to find out who can do this, or who will figure out how to do this. And one guy, a multi-millionaire, said, I spent my entire life doing stuff that nobody else wanted to do. I could charge anything I wanted for it because nobody else wanted to do it. Okay? Septic system or whatever it was he was doing at the time. He said, I just do the jobs nobody wants, and because nobody else wants to do it, they'll pay me good to do it. Okay? Okay. But the fool says, you got to want to do it. That's but you get you got to want to. Right. You got to want. Okay. There's people that in our business where we're Tammy and I work that think I'm stupid for what I do. Okay. Monday I worked in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Did you go on vacation in Pigeon Forge? No. I worked down there. So Monday was a 15-hour work day, 16-hour work day. So it was a good day. It's a good work day. Okay. Today I worked in the Eastern Panhandle up in Wardensville, Virginia. I was in Wardensville, West Virginia. I was installing furniture at 9 o'clock this morning, 250 miles from home. And the guy who's with him, Chris, I was in his office where he's helping me move a cabinet. He said, "Where'd you come from?" And I said, "Charleston." Charleston. He said, "Yeah." He said, like long what 4 or 5 hours away? I said, "Yeah, it took me over 4 hours to get here. It's 250 miles from my house to your office, and I was here before 9 o'clock." Okay, and so someone else might say that's stupid to do that, but that someone else that says that is going to sit there with their hands folded and say it can't be done. It can't be done. Okay, I will do it then, because I didn't just do that one, right, Tammy? That old truckload of stuff I had to do. And I got back, got home. What time we get home? 6:15, 6:30, something like that. I got home time for church too. Okay, I'm glad the state troopers are busy doing other things because I get down the interstate on time. Okay. But when someone says you can't, it's usually a lazy person says you can't. Okay? It can't be done. Okay? It can't be done. Okay. Next vanity. Chapter 4, look at verse 7. Then I returned and I saw vanity in the sun. Saw vanity and just emptiness under the sun. There was one alone and there was not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor. This guy works forever and has nothing. He doesn't have a sibling, doesn't have a son, doesn't have anybody to leave anything to. Neither is the eye satisfied with riches. No matter how hard he works, he doesn't have enough, so he's not satisfied with it. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor? He doesn't even think about the fact that he's building wealth and he's going to leave it to the neighbor, whoever walks into his property. Okay, for whom do I labor and bereave up my soul of good? I mean, I could enjoy what I have, but I'm not enjoying what I have because my work drives me to do more work that I can't even enjoy what I've got. Okay, does that make sense? Last week, 2 weeks ago, I talked about working and working because you enjoy working. You know, we should enjoy our work, but there has to be a point where you say, okay, what am I working for? Okay, what am I doing this for? Is it for my family to have nice stuff? For my kids to have good things? Is there ever an end to it? Is it just to accumulate stuff? Life is not a game of accumulation where whoever wins with the most money in the bank, when you die, that don't make you a winner, or the most accumulated things. There's a guy that accumulated guns, had 200 guns in his house. Most of them were rusty. He didn't even use them. He used to like to buy them. Okay, and they were down in the basement of his house, was real damp. And so Marlon knew his guns wouldn't work. None of his guns would work. His son-in-law was like, man, I don't know why he has them. He doesn't shoot. He doesn't hunt. Doesn't do anything with his guns. He just likes to buy them. Okay? And he takes them in there and sits them in there. Never looks at them again. Okay? Just the idea of having them. I got that. Okay? I'd rather do something with mine. I'd go to Disney World. Okay? Not guns. Money. Okay. But Solomon says there's some people who don't have anything. Worse than that, they don't have people. Okay? This is the saddest thing. This is one of the saddest things that Solomon wrote about. Okay? We'll go read the next couple verses. Two are better than one. Verse 9. Two are better than one because they have good reward for their labor. It means two of you can get more work done than one can. But more than that, for if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe unto him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, they hath heat, but how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and threefold cord is not quickly broken. Okay, stop reading right there. You know, Proverbs talks about friends. There's about 15 verses talk about friends or friendship. He has friends but show himself friendly, different verses like that. A friend loves at all times. There's different verses about friends. You know what's the saddest thing in the world? To me, one of the saddest things, and apparently the problem to Solomon too, is to look at somebody that has absolutely nobody. Not a child, not a brother, not a friend. Not somebody to help them up when they fall, not somebody to care if they fall. We've known people in our Sissonville community that have died and lay in the house for a long time and nobody checks on them. Okay? Because no one wants to be around them. No one cares what they've done. Okay? And to me, it's sad. Okay? So we know somebody like that. They find out that later there's a smell or whatever. We've known just a few of those situations. And you think, okay, why couldn't we checked on them? Maybe because nobody cared. Okay? And to Solomon, that's one of the worst things. It's look. When I read through scriptures, I read the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego being thrown in the fiery furnace. To me, when I read through that, one of the greatest things about that is Shadrach never looked to see if Meshach and Abednego were there. He just knew they were going to be there. Okay? One of the greatest words, I jokingly say the greatest word in the English language is buffet. Okay? So that comes in second. One of the greatest words is friend. Okay? To have friends. And to know that you have friends. And you know that you have somebody. In the hospital last night with Bruce and Patty, they talked about this. I don't know if they talked to you about this when they were up there, but they talked about this a little bit, how it's different having people that really care about them in church. Okay? Well, John, I don't feel anyone cares. He that has friends will show himself friends. Just invest in other people. It comes back to you. Okay? There was another couple in our church years ago. They came here. They got saved. They came here for a long time. They don't come here now. They go somewhere else, I think. But they came for a long time. And they went through a trial. And after they went through this trial, losing a family member, they came back and they said, we went through something for the first time in our life. We had people around us. People cared about it. We felt like the people. And for all of our adult life, it was just us against the world. And nobody cared. That's sad. I'd rather, okay, well, John, do you care about people? I do. I can't give the answer for everything all the time. And a lot of times people call me, text me, or whatever, and want an answer. Sometimes the answer is, I have no idea. I can't get there because I'm in Tennessee. Okay, but as much as I can, I will be and do whatever. And I watch our family, our church family, show up. Remember when Karen Wickline had a stroke? It's probably about 15 years ago. She had a stroke, and on Sunday morning, and so Charlie and her weren't here, and someone said she had a stroke, and so by 12:30 there was 30 people at the hospital. Okay, once they found out she had a stroke, and somebody in the hospital said they didn't. Once they realized we were not family, it was just the church family coming up. Then someone in one of the nurses said, "Wish I went to church like that." Okay, well, John, well, nobody shows up. Sometimes we don't know. We don't know what to do or how to fix a problem. We don't know to show up. We don't know, how to respond. Or sometimes we don't even know that there's a need. Patty told me last night she needed something done at her house. She needs something done. So okay, I'll be there. I'll either come tonight or come tonight before church, or tonight after church, go over and take care of it. Okay, she needed something done. If we don't know there's a need, we can't fill the need. Okay. Solomon said, I saw this guy over here, worked all his life, had everything he needed, had an abundance of wealth, or accumulated his stuff, and no one cared. Okay? It was all about him getting, he had no wife, no kids, no brother, whatever. Okay. Solomon was one of the saddest things, an emptiness. This is a song. It says, the emptiness of the rust and dust of the toys mocks me in their silence. The stuff that you accumulate, it's just stuff. It doesn't matter. Okay. Look at verse 13. We'll look one more thing, and then we'll go backwards through it. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king who will no more be admonished. You'd be better off to be a poor kid with nothing who listens than be an old man who don't want to listen to anybody. Okay, that's really what that says. Read that verse out loud with me. Verse 13. Read out loud. Here we go. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king who will no more be admonished. You know what's sad? A lot of people get to a certain point and say, I don't listen to anybody anymore. I'll do things my way. Nobody's going to tell me nothing. Okay? That's improper English. No one can tell me anything. Okay? I'll do what I want to do. No one can. You don't know the problem. Okay. You'd be better off to be a poor kid with nothing than to be an old man with all the answers that has no response. Okay. The saddest man is one who has no one that tries to correct him, can correct him. It's my way or the highway. Verse 14, everyone who follows that guy will be forward. Not listening is a learned and copied behavior, and everyone that follows him will be the same way. Let's put all these things together. There's like 5 things. A king who doesn't listen, I'm going backwards from the verses. A king who doesn't listen, an empty man with stuff but nobody. People who work and do well are despised by those who refuse to work. The lazy hate the workers. Going back through that. Once you get all that together, a man gains power and oppresses others like a dictator or a tyrant. The answer to all those things is Christ and Christianity. That answer to every one of those problems. Okay, because you're going back 1 through 5 again. To be a leader, not an oppressor. Doesn't matter if you're leading your home or leader at work, or whatever it is. Be a leader, not a dictator. You're supposed to, as a Christian, you're supposed to lead. The second one is it teaches us to labor and then appreciate life because we labor. The third one is to show us a balance of equity of life, not just having stuff. The fourth one is to teach us to love and to give. The purpose for our prosperity is to raise our standard of giving, not our standard of living. And then to go back to the very first thing, for those people that don't have a comforter, they haven't got the comforter. The Holy Spirit is our comforter. But the only way He can comfort us is when we take our Bible and read it. And then He brings His verses back to us. And He says, let me show you what you just read. And sometimes I read stuff, and it doesn't mean anything to me as I read it. I'm just doing my daily reading. And sometimes I can sit down and read for 30 minutes. I've got my daily reading in, and I'm off to work. It doesn't mean anything to Charlie at the time I'm reading it. When it comes back to me later in the day or later on in the week, that this is what I needed. The Comforter's inside of me. It brings that word back to me. It teaches me what He's taught me, okay, or what He has already showed me in His Word. And he brings it back to me. None of us have to go through life without a comforter. None of us have to go through life without a friend. Christ is our friend, and Christians are our friends. None of us has to go through life envying other people for what they have or what they don't have. Look down, like envy is looking up at somebody and saying, I hate them because they got this stuff. But everybody looks up at the first person because hates them because they got something. It's also by the idea that you'll do that, you'll look down at other people who don't have what you have. Okay. The difference is Christians are not supposed to be that way. There's something inside of us that says, okay, I got this. I want to share what I have. I don't want to die with a bunch of stuff around me that doesn't mean anything. I don't want to accumulate stuff. I don't give it away. Okay. I've already told Jared what he could have when I die. He told me he can't have it until I die. Right? Don't be pushing me off a cliff either. I'm going to Disney World and I get to the top of some tire and I get shoved. Humpty Dumpty was pushed. He ain't going to jump. Okay? All right. Any questions? Any questions on any of these things? Solomon, his old man, looked back and said, these are things I hate. I saw this in life. I hate these things. Okay? I hate oppressors. I hate seeing somebody who's alone has nobody. There's people at the nursing home where Joyce is at, Tammy's mom's at. Tammy goes in there every day. I end up there once or twice a week. Okay, once a week. And not for, but there's people that have nothing, have nobody, right? Tammy will go in and befriend people that there's a guy that has nobody's ever come in and see him, right, Larry? Okay, and there's others down there that nobody cares that they're there. No one knows that they're there except the nurses, some of their nurses say, "I got another crazy," right? And it's sad that they do that, but no one cares that they're there. It's sad. And Solomon said, "That's awful." The guy worked all his life, has nothing. He doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have Shadrach, Meshach, doesn't have anybody beside him. Okay, doesn't have a son, doesn't have a brother, doesn't have anybody. Okay, any questions on that? You got somebody? Are you the person that stands beside somebody else? Say, I'm here. Okay. One of the greatest compliments a friend gave me recently, I don't think I said this in the pulpit. They said, you ever seen Tombstone? The movie Tombstone? I said, yeah, I've seen the movie. Y'all seen the movie Tombstone? Okay. Huh? You said a couple? Okay. Okay. He said at the end of the movie, Doc Holliday's dying, and whatever the other guy said, thanks for always being there. Okay? Kurt Russell's character saying to the other guy, said thanks for always being there, Doc. This friend of mine said to me the other day, recently, one of the greatest compliments, he says, thanks for always being there. It meant a lot. It meant a lot that I was where I was that day, and I have been where I'm supposed to be for him for the last 35 years, right, Tammy? At least that long. I'm close to 40 years. And he just said, thanks for always being there. And I think, man, that's the greatest compliment I'm going to give you, right? Because he's not going to die alone, looking at all the accumulated wealth. He's got friends. But I don't want to live that life that doesn't invest in anybody else. Okay? All right. Questions, comments? Kids are out, we better go. They turn them loose, we better go. Okay, let's dismiss. Thank you, Lord, for loving us. Thank you for the truth you've given us in your word. Help us be the Christians we want to be. Help us be the person that stands beside the person that's by himself. Help us be the person that stands up and says, I'm here. How can I help? And then follow through and help. And forgive us where we come short. We all come short at times. Forgive us where we come short. Use us for your glory. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen. Thanks for coming out tonight. Make sure you take all your kids home. Yeah, don't leave any extras. We'll be back on Friday. I'm sure they can live on You leave Seth here. I'm sure there's enough snacks and stuff. The paperwork for Friday night. Uh, well, actually, since you're going, you don't need a paperwork for Seth, unless like you have a heart attack on the basketball court and we don't know who to call. And Seth could be so with the phone. On Friday night, I wouldn't plan on picking him up. You can ask Caleb when you take him home. He needs a ride Friday night to pick him up. But I'm sure his parents will bring him. So you can ask him. Don't let him sleep while you drive. Yeah, I sleep while I drive.